welcome back to the channel of Butterflies and Things, where we talk about everything having to do with the ball jointed doll world. I am your host Astrid, and this is Arwen, the ball jointed doll artist, and today we're going to talk about doll hybriding. Let's get started. Okay, doll hybriding.
Yeah, a hybrid doll is a doll that has one part from one company and one part from another company. A doll hybrid within the same company, that's the way that dolls work, so basically that's not a hybrid as such. So this one is a hybrid from a while back. She has a Volks body, I believe it's a Volks SD13, and her head is doll's own. Because these dolls are quite standard in their neck size, the heads and the head size overall is roughly the same. You can mix and match a lot, and that's a lot of fun. So this one is I've got both of these second hands. This I think this body is at least 10 years old, and the head is probably something similar. Okay. So you can also see how much then doll yellows, because of course, yes.
Yes, she's quite yellow, especially with the film lighting on.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pull her over here if you want to pull the next one up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get
to the side.
My muscular girl. Muscular girl actually came with didn't have a head at all, because she was a special order. And so I matched her up with a head that I actually had before that. You know, I got her in 2011 and the head was even older. So so she's getting on 8 years already.
She's actually not as yellow as this one over here.
Yeah, indeed. Again, the head fitted quite easily. Usually the head neck size is you can actually check that quite easily. Will the doll that I've chosen fit the normal heads, and you can look that up. You can then argue about proportion. I've of course chosen her to be proportionate to the same, and her as well, so I did a little bit of mix and matching when I got the body home. Both of them were body second and head first. So I had a box of heads, and then I just did a little bit of a head dance and see who fits which one better.
Well, Muscular Girl is significantly larger than this one.
Indeed, and she has actually a head that I think is probably a male, which came with the face up that it has. I didn't do the face up, which is sort of a generic thing. Of this one, I do believe I did the face up on her, and I made her more of a wide-eyed girl.
I'm sorry, it's a bit hard to get the... I don't know if that's visible.
Yeah, it should be. Right. So, what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to do it on her, is... so, hybriding, you need to actually remove the head and put another head on, and let's go try that for a bit. The head has a head cap. This one actually, like I said, really old head. It has no proper way of attaching it. There was something with putting the elastic through this and something complicated which didn't work, and they didn't repeat it after that, so I'm doing it with velcros. Okay, put the head back aside, and then there is the S-hook. I hook it over, yeah, I pull like mad, and then down it goes. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one was a little bit tricky, there you go. So one decapitated head body, and so you can see her head whole, and I can basically take Muscular Girl and do the same thing. She's probably facing the wrong way.
Let's face her the other way. There we go.
Remove the hair and remove the head. This one is a slightly newer.
So that's a whole different construction in there.
Yeah, I do believe that when she came back, she was restrung with a new elastic, which was good. From the Nobility doll, she went on a little trip. So okay, so I do the same thing and remove her.
Because Nobility doll borrowed.
Yeah, it was a lot. See the other video.
It's called The Adventures of Muscular Girl.
Since she had quite some adventures. So what I'm gonna do now is see what it looks like when I put another head on her. see
of
if
course,
actually
this head just came from a doll that's actually a little bit
less mature, yeah. Smaller and oh my god. Ah! Okay, I actually can't. This angle is wrong for me to lift it up, but you can see what it looks like. No, I'm gonna just put it here and then just try not to rock the doll and then the head doesn't come off. Please.
Okay, I will do my best.
I believe it goes on like this, and on like that. Oh, come on. Is that the right one? I think maybe I've got it upside down. Never mind. Let's turn it over.
Fiddling is part of this.
Oh yeah. So that's one. That's the other. It's not the ideal way of doing it, but she was actually
because the actual
elastic is poking out. Never mind. It's good enough. I'm gonna put the wig on to see what it does. Is that the wrong? That's the right size, right way. Yep. And so up she goes.
And now,
what do we think? She looks like a completely different doll.
Yeah.
And I can't see. Let me check in the front. It's not the best way of doing this, and this wig is actually going slowly breaking up. See, she's now complete. See, there you go. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was this, so you can fit it easily on her, and you can actually already see a little bit of my next subject, which is the coloring, because the fit, yes, but this doll is nearly 10 years old. The other doll is 10 years old. The heads are all 10 years old. They're quite yellowed as such and have drawn together in color that way. But if you get like a new head, and let's take her down again.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put another head on her. It's over here, which is a new head. You'll find a problem. Dip, dip, dip. There you go.
Yep. Okay. This is why it got stuck in between the head and the back cap of the head.
So
it's a little long.
This head is actually the one that I made. I made her for the Claudette body, so her head whole is quite a bit bigger than this one. So I don't expect this to fit. It won't, and that's not what my little experiment right now is about. I'm gonna put it on, and then you will see right away what I mean. The color is completely different. Up she goes. Oh.
Excuse us.
Apart from that, she's also the wrong head for this sort of thing. But you see, the color, it's completely wrong. Take it down again. That's a problem that is part of this, of course, of having a hybrid, is getting the head with the right color on it, with the right skin color. So this is a Mio doll, a normal skin pink, a couple of months old. It will probably go a little bit less pink soon. Okay. And then it will be a sort of a peach for a very long time.
Yeah, but it will never become this yellow.
Yeah, but 10 years, you know. There's 10 years between these two.
What color will this one be by that time?
Exactly, it'll be more yellow. So one of the problems, one of the fun parts of hybriding is that you can mix and match all you want. And there's a whole world out there that will tell you, oh, this color fits to that color, so Miro and normal skin pink will fit to blah, and then you can try and get that together, and that may or may not work. The question is, how long will it work? And my first set of dolls, all of these dolls, I'm going to give her head back. And
I was about to ask for that.
Yeah, and let's give her head back. My first set of dolls that I bought between 2008 and so 2012 or 2014. In 2014, they were almost all hybrids, and they were, to start off, they matched pretty well. But by the time 2014 came around, they did not match at all, and I had to do a complete reshuffle of heads.
Wow.
That's why she is the only one who survived. She's the only doll who survived as was, and that was a bit upsetting. of course. Yeah, it was upsetting because basically the dolls the way they were, it went away. So you have to, when you make a hybrid choice, even if they say everything matches, and yes it does, but it won't last. It can't last. It's a different resin from another company. It's gonna change in a different way. The biggest problems I had were actually with the Lutz resins, because the Lutz normal skin resins, the heads, they started to decolor, and then when they were almost white pale, then they started to yellow. So there was nothing else that matches to it than other Lutz.
Right. And preferably of the same age.
Roughly the same
in the right
age.
stage of discoloring. So if you still want that particular head, the new head with your older doll, what's the attitude you should have to make it work?
There's one thing you can do, but again that's not gonna last, is do a if you're not too if you're the second item that you want to match it with is actually a new piece of resin, and it comes from your doll, you can do a custom resin match. But you have to realize that even if it matches now, it will start to separate, because again, still different resins from different companies.
Right.
But it will give you a good doll now. Yeah. So if you have like a yellow doll, and I have to say, once you get to the yellowing, like these two, it will become
both quite yellow.
Yeah, they're similarly yellow. The only ones, like I said, that didn't go this way was Lutz, and I have quite a bit of Lutz. And I got lucky and actually could reconstruct one of my dolls with somebody's Lutz body they had left over, which was roughly the same age.
Wow.
So I got lucky. One of my girls is now reconstructed, because one of my favorite girls.
So you could literally go out there and say, I've got this head, it's this particular age, does anyone have a matching body?
Does anybody have a matching body from roughly then? And it's, I mean, you don't have to be precisely within a year or a season. You can like be within 2 years or something like that. You should, if you're going to do that, make sure that you are aware of when major changes happened in resin of each company. Lutz had a major change. Older Lutz that doesn't have that decoloration thing, is more of this type of Lutz of color. They sort of all became like this. And one that before that was before that I came into the hobby in 2000.
10.
No, 3.
Oh.
There was this edition of Lutz, the elves. They were white, and they turned green, because it was very early resin. So there's a whole slew of green elves out there.
So instead of this type of yellowing, you're looking at this type of greenifying.
Greening, yeah. Basically, yes. And
I think most people are probably more pleased with the yellowing than.
And quite frankly, when I first got into the hobby, I did see there was going to be problems with hybriding. So I really did go for a normal skin yellow or oriental or that one. Almost all of these companies have a sort of normal skin yellow, and then you're already halfway on the way towards the final color of the doll.
Yeah.
And you know, like Dobby here. Oops.
What is the original skin color on Dobby?
This is white. This is paper white.
The skin or the head?
The head is not resin.
It's newer.
It's newer, but it's also it's a nylon print, 3D print, but it also yellowed. Yeah. Everything yellowed. And so if we have a little sheet
compared to the head, the skin actually looks very specifically beige.
Yeah, it's beige.
Absolutely not yellow.
Yeah, and it was paper white.
It was paper white. When it arrived, it was paper white. And how long does it take to go beige?
For the less original color there is in it, so white will go off first, and then the normal skins will start to be affected. I do believe it was, you know, the human eye doesn't notice it properly. Yeah. So by the time you notice, it's quite a bit underway.
Especially when you said, okay, well, within 2 years, so clearly not much happens in 2 years.
Oh God, no.
So 5 years, then you start going, wait a minute, my doll is actually yellowed, and maybe 6-7 years you go, okay, well, that's...
Yeah, now we have a problem.
Now it's actually yellowing.
Yeah, and basically
that's slow. That's so slow.
it is slow, and you can suppose slow it down by leaving it in an air light tight cupboard, but then you can't play with your ball.
Yes.
But you can't stop
Lock it up the entire time so you can't enjoy your doll.
And it doesn't. In the end, it only slows it down. It doesn't stop it.
Right.
So it doesn't help you in the end.
Yeah.
So my advice on that is love your yellow doll. But with the hybriding, you have the problem that you can't have the head be a significantly different color from the body. So your solution is either do a shuffle within the dolls you have, if you have enough dolls to do that with, which is what I did. Start looking for original bodies that were made at the same time by the same company.
Yeah.
Or go for a temporary solution and get a custom match with by Miro is the only one who does that. So a custom color match, and then if you already go for like a yellow, they will be together for. If the thing was already yellow and you get a normal yellow skin doll from Miro to go with it, you probably have a pretty good marriage to start with. So it doesn't have to be that complicated.
So there are solutions out there.
Also, if your head is lighter than the body that it belongs to now, you can actually blush up the head. Oh, I should have gotten that doll. I have one doll that has an orangey skin. It always was that way. And I had not the right head with it. Later I got the right head, but I had not the right head with it. And a friend of mine colored the head to match the body.
Nice.
And that was very nice. That's possible. I suggest you only do that for a lighter head and match a darker body, because if you go the other way around, it's a lot of work to color the doll, and it's much more
What about
likely
if
to
the
be
doll is actually fairly fully dressed, like maybe only you see a bit of neck and a bit of
yeah,
shoulder?
yeah.
So you could blush up the
and then you
the
can
visible parts.
if it's a doll that's mostly covered and then it only has like the hands in close to the face, you can do the hands. Yeah, that's also possible, but it does limit your doll for what you can have it wear.
Yeah.
My advice is go for lighter head, match it with a darker body, and then blush it up.
Yeah.
Rest of the match with Miro for a body from Miro. Or another company. I don't know of any other company who does that, because it's quite a palaver, and most companies don't want to do that. So that's your options, but be aware that when you get a hybrid, and lots of people say, oh, this will match with that, this will match with that, this will match with that,
it will probably not match color.
It will not. That I was talking color matching. There's a whole world out there full of they say, oh, what matches me lots a normal skin, and then they want an answer to that, and then somebody says, oh, I have a lots normal skin that matches blah, but they didn't tell them that particular lots normal skin is 5 years old, whereas this one is absolutely brand new.
Yeah. So that's your first question to ask when you're talking secondhand. Is how old is your doll?
Or when you're trying to match a new head to another new head company, where are you getting this information from? Because in the Miro discussion group where I am at, there we have a sales group as well, and there's always bodies in there that were bought to match something and they don't.
And then they put them up for sale because they're disappointed?
Because somebody told them that Miro normal skin will match blah, and it will normal skin pin will match blah, and it really didn't. Because
blah was 5 years old.
Exactly.
Right.
Instead of brand spanking new.
Yeah.
So be a little bit careful with that.
It's all
it's
about
a crapshoot.
It's about research as well.
Research, and if you don't research, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah. But I think if you love the particular head and you really, really want it on that body, then with a little bit of
work, it can be
done. Or just acceptance.
Or acceptance, yeah.
So some people are more tanned in their face than they are on their body.
Indeed. So definitely, and you definitely, Okay.
Right. So that's a whole lot on hybriding. Any last words on the hybriding?
No. Have fun with your dolls. Do your research. Please do your research.
Always have fun. Talk to people.
And remember that if you're going to go for a hybrid of existing colors together, and you buy it from a company straight away to hybrid, it probably best to actually get a full doll. If it turns out your hybrid doesn't work, you at least have a full doll that you can either keep or sell on, because that's a problem. I know it's more expensive, but still.
Sounds sensible.
Yeah, it would save you a lot of aggravation later if it turns out it doesn't fit.
And what about talking to the company that you're doing this to?
Yeah. I've heard people ask companies, oh, does your color match blah? The company, they can't give you an answer because they don't have other companies' resin.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And even if they do,
not a 5-year-old version of.
even if they do, it's going to be from the wrong age, indeed.
Yeah.
So no, no.
So it's like this is your head. So yeah. So whatever you do, it's difficult. And but we've heard some solutions today.
Yeah.
So give it your best.
Yeah, indeed.
And so if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, because we like to hear that. And if you want to subscribe, then you will get notified of new videos coming up. And if you have any questions, then send us something in the Facebook group or down below in the comments, and we will try to get to them. And we hope to hear from you. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.